Hello traders out there in Traderland, D7 here with Grok Trade, and I'm here in my humble abode here in Tampa, Florida on a Sunday. I haven't seen the futures open up yet. It'd be really interesting to see what they have in store for us. First thing we're going to look at here is the S&P 500 spider chart. If you look at this, we had a rising wedge, a breakdown, and we came down to support, had a gap down, run up right there. This is a potential buy point, meaning that we could rally higher from this point. Go here to the NASDAQ. Nice pullback, a little kind of a mini falling wedge to major support. We doji out on the Qs and a great area of support that should bounce higher. Doesn't mean it's going to. We could come crashing down lower. This is a place that we should go higher. The bulls should take control. Same thing here. Gap down, a run up on Friday on the Russells to 1,000 at a major area of support after a broken area of support. So a broken area of support on Thursday, Friday. It came down to another area. We rallied higher. And the question is, are we ready to rally back northbound? Financials. If you look at this, financials pulled back, but not nearly as hard as the rest of the markets. So if you look here, we're in a symmetrical triangle on the XLF ETF on the banks, the largest bank sector, if you will, on the NASDAQ. So it's a really good one to look at financials. Then we go up, a bull flag into an apex of a symmetrical triangle, and we're at a support level. This could be ready to rock and roll to the upside. US dollar has been up, very overextended at this moment. It needs to relax and pull back. If it does that, that will bode well for the markets. And gold and silver, which could use its help. Gold is way extended to the downside. We're at a Larry, again, kind of a double bottom type formation. Major support there. We could get a bounce soon. We have an inverted hammer down here at the bottom. Silver, if you look at this, down to this area of support. It's an island bottom. If we were to get a gap up Monday, with these two open windows there, this could be ready for a rally to the upside on gold and silver. However, if you look at symmetrical triangle, it broke down. I would look at resistance being this trend line before it runs into trouble yet again. VIX. VIX, last few sessions have gone lower, and at the time of this video, we are under 15 on the VIX, so fear is starting to dissipate a bit. Now, I'm going to go look at a lot of different tech stocks. You guys are asking for it, and I thought, why not? But before I go into these tech stocks, I want you guys to understand this one thing. Are you in agreement with me? This is educational purposes only, not at all advice to buy or sell any security. As long as we're in agreement on that, make sure you read the disclaimer down in the description. We're all on the same page, and I'll be happy to share some things with you. But before I get into these tech stocks, this is a spider weekly chart. We're above these moving averages, but we've had 2 weeks of pullback. The question is, are we going to pull back to the traditional, 38.2 or the 50% Fibonacci? We have a nice trend line on the weekly chart on the spiders at the 38.2 area, and it would be easy to see it go down there and be really healthy for the markets to get down there. That means the spider would be at the 430 mark, around 430. And so right now we're at 445. It'd have to lose 15 points to get down there. So it'd be a sizable drop to the downside. Or will it just get to the 23.6? Or is this our low, meaning that we're ready to bounce already back to the north? So right now, I have lower highs, lower lows. The weekly charts should retrace further down, but it doesn't mean it's ready. I mean, because the daily chart looks like it's ready to pop higher, but those pops higher could be very short-lived. And the rest of the week, the larger time frames will take control, and then we'd pop up initially and then come right back down to these lower levels. If you look here at the NASDAQ, excuse me. If you look here at the NASDAQ, you got the Qs pulled back hard last 2 weeks. We're coming to a nice area of support, 23.6. And the question is, and it dropped below these moving averages. We have it's building a big case that we're going to be heading lower on the weekly. And it would be really healthy to get to the 38.2 because that would be a trend line and also the 38.2 Fibonacci retracement level. And if it were to stop there, that would be a very bullish level for it to stop at. Be a great buy opportunity. Russell 2000 weekly chart is at major support. So this is telling me for the support, this could bounce on the weekly. If the Russell's 2000 were to bounce off the weekly, the rest of the markets should also bounce. But that's only if the financials XLF do the same. If you notice, hardly any pullback. Yes, 3 week red candles, but they're just going sideways for the most part. Financials are holding their ground after a breakout of the symmetrical triangle to the upside, holding their own, meaning that we could go bullish, gang. And gold is up and doing this bull flag type formation. It needs to get back above this trend line for it to be of any interest on the weekly chart. Silver on the weekly broke a major area of support. It's in a lot of trouble on the weekly. It needs to heal itself immediately, and if so, that will be a bullish death hook to the upside, and that could be really bullish and fast if that were to happen. Again, VIX weekly, if you look at this, we're down below some support levels. That is very important, and that's my daughter coming through saying she's leaving. Bye. and if I go, so let's get to some stocks of interest, okay? Again, educational purposes only. Are we in agreement? Give me a thumbs up if we're in agreement. It doesn't cost you anything to hit the like button. All right, so let's go over here and take a look at some of these tech stocks. And when I go to these tech stocks, this is a weekly chart on Apple. 2 nasty weeks for Apple. Huge drawback. But I do want to put on here, because Apple is very important to a lot of people. If you do a Fibonacci retracement, I want to show you something. We're already down below the 23.6 Fibonacci and the 20-week moving average. If you look at this one, let me make sure that was the 20-week that I have here. It is the 20-week moving average. Good. Using TradingView, got a link down there at the bottom. That's what we use, and it is free. I do not use the free version. I use the premium because they have a lot of bells and whistles that I love to have as a trader. But you'll notice that we're running higher, but I think 38.2 is in, like that could happen. So I'm looking for Apple to continue its drop to the downside. That's the weekly chart. But let me show you what I'm seeing, though, guys, on the daily charts. If I go to the daily charts, this is Apple, okay? This is buy territory, meaning we're very extended to the downside. We're looking for a bounce right now on Apple, but short term. I think the longer term is still more downside. AMD said we had a symmetrical triangle, but it broke down below. AMD is saying, "Oop, we broke support. Look for this to drop to the downside." Amazon looks like a buy opportunity. Up, up, up. A little pullback. Look for a purchase there, perhaps. ARK, if you look at this, huge pullback. We get this M for murder up here. Do you see the M double top reversal? Very extended to the downside, oversold at support levels. Look for a short-term bounce. So ARK is a short-term buy. BABA, if you look at this, symmetrical triangle, we're up above the moving averages. Long as we can stay up here and we get a breakout of this upper trend line, that is a buy. Baidu, if you look at this, rising wedge, breakdown, pop, and a drop. But we have earnings coming up. As a rule of thumb, I do not like holding over earnings. Booking has rallied higher, and this is, as long as it can stay above these moving averages, it continues to be a buy opportunity. Cisco is in a big rising wedge at resistance. I would be looking to, we have earnings coming up, but anything can happen over that. But if this were to hit its head and drop down here to this lower trend line and break, that would be a short. If you go to Catfish, Cognizant, it's not Catfish, I call it Catfish. But this is buy opportunity up here, boom, 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 and this could rally yet again. eBay has been in a lot of trouble. Down, 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 symmetrical triangle, broke this. Now it's going after resistance. Look for a short opportunity at that trend line for another drop to the downside. Google is in an uptrend and just chopping around up here. Be careful with this one, but long as it's making higher highs, that is a good thing. I would want to see this thing break over 132, 133 before I'd want to make a purchase there. GoPro, if you look at GoPro, we have a falling wedge. We're at resistance. We dropped, we rallied. If we can break this on GoPro, that could be a buy. Let's go to Meta. Meta is Facebook, guys. Meta has been on a tear straight up. For you guys that do the fundies on these, the fundamental analysis, as far as the PEG ratio is concerned, Meta is still at fair market value. Big pullback, oversold areas. Look for a bounce to happen relatively soon. And Microsoft, if you look at this, again, very, very extended to the downside. Look for a short-term bounce soon. It could last several days. MU, big symmetric triangle. We're heading quickly down to the lower support line, but it is very extended to the downside. Netflix, been in this nice uptrend. Now we're going into what looks like a head and shoulders, shoulder, head, shoulder. If it breaks this trend line right there, we're in a lot of trouble on Netflix. Look for that to get back down to that area. NVIDIA had this tear to the upside, and then we have the shoulder, head and shoulder trend reversal pattern, and we broke the neckline. That was that gap right there, breaking it. It broke, came up, retested, and then crashed and burned under a lot of pressure. But we are big time, guys, in oversold areas. Look for a short-term bounce. We have earnings coming up. Very careful over earnings. Oracle, this is a bull play. This is a buy opportunity at support line. This is Palantir. Rising wedge, breakdown, short-term rally before it drops again, giving us our head and shoulders reversal pattern. And PayPal hit its head and just come crashing down after earnings, but very oversold. Look for an upside rally. Roku, if you look at this, huge run and drop, way over sold. Look for a bounce there. Shopify, if you look at here, we're nearing a support level, way oversold, short-term buy. Snap, rising wedge. It breaks it this last week, and now it's in a lot of trouble. Sell on Snap. If you go to Tesla, nice buy opportunity. We rallied up, bull pullback rally, and then a bull flag that's pinching into a falling wedge at a major area of support. And we have a hammer time for, we could be getting a major rally right here for Tesla. There's the long and short of it. I've been trading in the live markets going on 25 years using technical analysis, institutional trader, hedge fund manager nowadays, and we have an education company. We do teach 3 days only out of a month. So we do have mentoring. If you would like to come in at a high level education environment, we're happy to help you out. Just go to Grok Trade and check out the mentoring. Love to touch base with you to see if we could potentially work together. With that said, gang, I appreciate each and every one of you. I'm not at the office at this moment. Like I said earlier, I'm at home. So it has been a big, busy weekend. Been working on a lot of automation stuff, algorithmic stuff, all through the weekend, and I've just been burning the candle at both ends. I'm doing, crunching all these numbers and looking at data, finding new advancements, and so it's fun stuff. I don't know how many of you guys are in AI, ML, and know about neural networks. If you're a developer and you work in neural networks, or if you're any sort of a person that works in Python or PineScript, or if you are an individual who does ML modeling, leave that down in the comments. I'd be really interested to know who's listening that's in that environment, especially if you're into neural networks and you know how to wield the sword in that ecosystem, in that environment. So take care, guys. All the best. And again, if this was worth anything to you, give me a thumbs up. Take care. We'll see you. Bye. Guys, why are you still here? You're supposed to be gone while I still have you. If you haven't joined the 301 mentorship yet, seriously give that some serious thought. Mark the Meerkat's been trading a long time in the markets. As you know, I have too. We take people under our wing and we teach you what we do to trade in the live markets. We trade a significant amount of money on a day-to-day basis in the live markets ourselves. If you're going to learn from anybody, learn from us. It's the 301 mentorship program. We've been doing this a long time, and we're happy to help you. There you have it. Now, get out of here.